My name is April Grimmenstein. I was born on 4/13/1991. Today is October 4th, 2017. My mother was married to Mr. Melton. He's not a nice man. I remember he was physically abusive to my mother. I looked down to the other end of the house and see my mother fly into a wall or get thrown or pushed very forcefully into a wall. Another incident, I remember he broke her hand. She had to get pins put in her hand. I was scared of him then, and honestly, I'm still scared of him now. And he would threaten her.
Has he threatened any of your family members with death?
Yeah.
Saying he was going to kill them?
He threatened my stepmom. I don't remember any good memories with him. None. I remember being scared to be around them. My brother went to stand up or to speak up for my mother, and Doug threatened to basically beat him if he didn't shut his mouth. And so he's not a good guy. Honestly, after this, I'm probably going to have to purchase the gun myself in case he ever finds me. Because that's how scared I am. I'm afraid that if he does find out about this statement, that he would come after me.
It's October 5th, 2017, and I am here interviewing a witness named
Elizabeth Bothera.
Do you recognize this man?
Yes.
Can you tell me of your experience with him?
He got up and he walked over where we were at and just relieved himself in front of us. And I started yelling at him, and then he yelled at me, and I called the police. And then he said, "I'll be at so-and-so address, bitch."
So as he's walking toward you, he's pulling his private parts out of his pants.
Yes. Yeah, and then I started yelling at him and told him, "I don't want to see all that." And I yelled, "Oh, my retina's like that." And then he started getting irate because I yelled at him. He just got very violent, speaking and threatening, and so the policeman told me I needed to get a gun.
So was that the only encounter you had with him?
No, I've had several. He cusses. He runs at people. I mean, he's always out here.
Okay.
And he just, I try to stay away from him, but I arm myself, around him because he was coming at me and my friend that night.
Today is October 4th, 2017. My name is Sandra Crafton. Date of birth 10/9/60. Doug Melton is a violent human being who has threatened to kill me because I stood up to him over two small children. Our attorney Steve Stewart was threatened to be killed if he did not drop the case. Officer Rich of the Fairview Police Department had to keep Mr. Melton away from me on my own property to prevent him from hitting me. Mr. Melton, several times, he had called me on the phone personally to threaten me that if I did not give the children to him at that time, he would be at my home and I would be sorry and he would kill me. I am terrified for him to know that I am saying this against him. But Mr. Melton is an evil human being. When I seen the newspaper clippings of what happened to Katie, I understood her viewpoint, because too many times he has called me, threatened me. He has told me to his face he would kill me. He would have the end of me. I am 5'1". He is over 6 feet tall. And he would just threaten to kill us all the time. Mr. Melton hates women who have a mind, who think for themselves, who are not easily manipulated. He thinks that if you don't do what he says, he has the right to threaten to kill you or slap you or beat you around. I have seen the bruises that he left on Janice Jones, that she has claimed that he hit her.
Are you scared for your life?
Yes.
Are you terrified of him?
Yes.
But you're doing this because this is the right thing.
This is the right thing. He did what he did to Katie. What I read in the newspaper is what he has done to me too many times. He has threatened me with everything in his knowledge that he would just kill me.
But because this has come up, now you have guns around your house and in your car to protect yourself.
There is now a gun sitting in my car. There is now a gun sitting on top of my fireplace, and there are about 4 guns sitting in my gun safe, and they are loaded. I hope this helps. I seriously do. I hope this helps her, because this is in no way. She was protecting herself. This man is crazy.
Gerald Matthew Melton, born October 3rd, 1981. I am the biological son of Gerald Douglas Melton. I currently reside in Paulsboro, New Jersey. He would violently threaten us with aggressive behavior or physical threats of violence. He often showed signs of mental abuse as well as emotional, as well as him bullying me, pushing me, threatening my life, the life of my friends, running my friends off. Abusive to Janice and her children, Nathan and April. He would scream at her at all hours of the day and night, oftentimes getting physically abusive with her, slapping her, pushing her, backing her into corners, coming up with elaborate delusional... my father is sick. He suffers from schizophrenia. He has always been sick. He's always had these elaborate schemes on why he couldn't keep a job. People were against him from all walks and races. That schizophrenia developed against other races. His abuse was against Janice, and had Janice backed against our back door and was screaming at her, slapping her, to the point that she was left kneeling in a corner against the door and crying. He sent me emails of where he was seeking asylum from the Arab Sheikh with the Israeli consulate and the United Nations, asking for help because his life felt in jeopardy. To be inhabited by alien symbiotes and controlling devices through his genitals and mind that can be accessed by remote control. He also believes himself to be the subject of intense terrorism flown overhead on Music Row at him, F-16 fighter jets. In those emails, which I've passed on to the legal team, he has hinted that his mother had her ovaries removed, been aiding my father while he was homeless on Music Row. Dan had let my father come in out of the cold and often bought him breakfast or found small odd jobs for him to do just to make a little money. My dad flew into a blind rage and screamed and threatened Mr. Hawkins. This was typical, the screaming, the threatening, the aggressive, violent behaviors. He is often given in to his schizophrenic delusions and has accused people at random on the streets of being in league against him, aiding an Arab sheikh and a Nigerian prince, and has told me of such occurrence, these people who had no idea who he was were against him. He would act out, flying off into verbal, violent rages, threatening them, threatening their lives, and overall being a menace. For my dad, for I know he's sick, and his mental health is detrimental to not only his safety, but the safety of those around him. He's given to delusional fantasies of people being out against him, including the government. I had recorded him talking about vast conspiracies involving controlling rods and symbiotic manipulations through alien forces and governmental operations, and them being people who they were not, and out to get him in ways that were both delusional and disturbing. He is not well. When he was around, I was subjected to abuse, both physical, verbal, emotional, and even spiritual. That if he is left unmedicated or without aid in overcoming his mental illness, he will remain a danger to himself and others, and eventually I believe he will hurt someone. I do believe that Miss Quackenbush was subject to his delusion. He acted in self-defense due to his increasing rage and schizophrenic driven fantasies.